Welcome into OutKick the show. I am your fearless leader, Clay Travis. I hope all of you are having fantastic Thursdays wherever you may be across the country. Thanks again for making Balls a bestseller. It is available in bookstores everywhere. We got a lot to dive into. College football, big weekend of games that will have massive impact when it comes to the college football playoff. Jets-Patriots is tonight. I've got an argument for you about Mike Vrabel and Drake May and the combo that they may bring. Crazy man, Keith Olbermann says that OutKick is a fascist website. And Disney stock has tanked as the overall revenue of the company is down amidst the ongoing battle that exists between Google and Disney over YouTube television. All that coming your way, but we begin right off the top with the big games in college football that are going to go, I think, a long way towards finalizing who are going to be the college football playoff games. In particular, Oklahoma on the road against Alabama, Texas on the road against Georgia, the two biggest and best games of the weekend in college football. Texas could go a long way towards erasing much of the narrative of this season, which has been that the team is incredibly disappointing and has not lived up to the hype since week one. Opening weekend of the season when the Texas Longhorns lost 14-7, to say nothing of what I would argue is probably the biggest upset that we've seen so far in the SEC this year, which was the loss that Texas took on the road against Florida. Given what the Florida Gators have accomplished, this was an epic collapse. Before Florida completely quit on the year, I understand, but still the only true upset going on for the course of the year. Look, I think Georgia's going to get the win. I'm nervous about the 6.5-point line, which is why I am on the over in this game. I think you're going to see some points scored, and I think that's the direction probably that we are going to be headed. But the one that I really love is Oklahoma-Bama. I love the under in this game. We're going to be talking about it quite a bit with Kelly. I think Oklahoma has a real chance to win. If they win, it's going to be because John Mateer plays phenomenally well. And if you go back and watch earlier in the season, before the injury, before the hand surgery, John Mateer was a different quarterback in terms of his ability to make plays both with his legs and with his arm. He has not played necessarily at that same level since. He was solid against Tennessee. He was okay against Ole Miss in the last couple of big games. In order to win against Alabama, he's going to have to convert, I think, a lot with his legs on third down. He's going to have to play the best game of the season. The reason why I like the under here is Oklahoma's defense has performed at an elite level all year. And Alabama doesn't have the ability to consistently run the football. At least they haven't so far, which means you're going to put a lot of onus on Ty Simpson. But Oklahoma's got, at least so far, decent play across the board. That front seven is really, really elite, and also plays at a very, very high level. And so I think this could be a low-scoring game. It is why it is my blood bank guarantee. You will hear me talking quite a bit about it with Kelly Stewart here on the Fade, which is going to be on before very long. But those big games, I would also put a flag in this one and tell you don't miss out on Iowa-USC, which has the potential to be a very good football game too. USC coming off of a season so far where, frankly, they've been under the radar. They lost to Notre Dame. They lost, kind of early in the year and fell off a bit. They lost to Illinois, last-second field goal, didn't play very well in that game. And, frankly, SC hasn't gotten a lot of attention. If they were to win out, the likelihood is, however, that USC could still be in the Big Ten title game, potentially. And so now maybe not, because if Ohio State wins out and Indiana wins out, then USC wouldn't get in, even though they only have one Big Ten loss so far. But again, there's still a bunch of moving parts associated with this. If Michigan were able to pull off the upset over Ohio State, everything could change in the Big Ten in terms of who's going to play. Iowa, really tough home loss against Oregon, came down to that final kick. We'll see whether the Hawkeyes can do as I expect them to do, which is go on the road and be quite competitive in that game before all is said and done. So I think this will be a intriguing one to watch. Again, I'm expecting defensive struggles for much of the day across all of the top games in college football. Didn't mention it. We'll talk about it some with the fade, but Pitt hosting Notre Dame, also a huge game, probably the last obstacle that Notre Dame could face before they would get to 10-2 and likely be able to punch their playoff ticket. Okay, Jets-Patriots tonight. I mentioned that you guys know I love Mike Vrabel. I was impressed with the culture that he built with the Titans, even though the Titans faded in the final couple of years of his tenure. It wasn't because of Mike Vrabel. It was because a lot of the talent got traded away. The talent that was left did not perform very well coming out of the NFL draft. You can argue the Titans had some of the worst NFL drafts ever strung together back to back to back. And so eventually that becomes an issue going forward. And I think that is what we have run into. But Patriots are 8-2. They have a shot, real shot, should be an easy win. I say easy. The Jets suddenly have shown up and started playing a bit better. But I think the Patriots are going to win, get to 9-2, have the best record in the entirety of the NFL. And Drake May continues to make the case in year two that he potentially could not only be the winner of the AFC East, which would be a huge upset, but even bigger upset might be the NFL MVP if he continues to play at this level. And Vrabel and May looks like it could be an incredible multi-year partnership that is going to lead to a lot of victories going forward. As I speak to all of you, Disney came out with earnings, and those earnings did not go well for the Walt Disney Company, and the stock has tanked down around $10. I think we have a graphic if the guys could pull that up, and you can see it. That is the last decade of Disney stock. If you bought Disney stock in November of 2015 and you just held it, you've lost money. And that doesn't even factor in the inflation that has occurred since 2015. This is just real dollars. Even if you factor in the dividends, you have far less money now than you did if you bought stock in Disney all the way back in 2015. And there's a report out, I believe it's from Morgan Stanley, that this YouTube and Disney dispute is having very real, tangible impact on the Disney Corporation to the tune of costing the company $30 million every week to not be able to be on YouTube. You start to run out the math on that, and we're talking about $120 million a month. That then turns into about $1.4 billion a year. Basically, ESPN is essentially not profitable if they are not able to get onto this YouTube network. Now, I've got Comcast and I've got YouTube, so I have two different companies that I subscribe to in the cable space. I've recently added YouTube. I love it. I do the Clay and Buck show directly to my left here for 3 hours every day. You can watch that on video. And in front of me now, I have the YouTube quad box. So I've got on MSNBC, I've got on CNN, I've got on Fox News, and I've got CNBC. So I make sure that I don't miss anything. One business channel and all three CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News networks. I love it. To be able to have one television with 4 different news networks, I can see how every story is being covered. You guys already know that I read the New York Times and I read the Wall Street Journal every day. Now for 3 hours, I am sitting with every one of the news networks available for me to be able to follow, including, some of you may have seen me last night, with Sean Hannity, as the president came out and signed, I believe at 10:24 Eastern, a bill that had been passed by the House to reopen the government. And I said on Sean Hannity's show, and I would continue to echo this, we can't keep having these shutdowns. Whether you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, it's not ideal to have air traffic controllers going unpaid, to have TSA workers going unpaid in real time, and that's creating dangers that are completely unnecessary. I don't believe President Trump has said, let's just do away completely with the filibuster. I don't agree with that idea. The idea that I do agree with, however, is we should do away with the idea that it takes 60 votes to end a government shutdown, because Otherwise, there's no real consequences for Democrats constantly throwing temper tantrums right now and shutting down the government. I also don't think Republicans should be able to shut down the government if in the future Republicans are in the minority and the power is vested in the Democrats. This is just a bad idea. And we already changed the filibuster to allow Supreme Court justices to be appointed and confirmed by simple majority, which used to not be the case. Now that we have done that, if you asked me, hey, which is more significant, the fact that a Supreme Court justice can be put on the Supreme Court for life with a simple majority, even a tie-break majority with the vice president breaking the tie in the Senate, or a modification of the filibuster that said the government couldn't be shut down and require 60 votes to get back open. I don't even think this is a tough call. To me, it is certainly the case that the more significant act is what we did with the filibuster. Okay, a couple of other things that are out there. We got some hate mail. Some of you have awareness that every Wednesday I am on for the OutKick show on FS1. And I was on FS1 for about 4 years daily back in the day, as many of you know, for Fox Bet Live, for being able to, then they renamed it to, if it was initially Lock It In, then they renamed it to Fox Bet Live. And this guy tagged me. I sometimes will go in, I don't look a lot at mentions, but I will go into whatever is highly rated by the algorithm on my name. And this guy said, hey, Clay Travis, you're an absolute brain-dead fuckface. A&M is the best team in the country. Get off national television, dork. I think we have that up. I said thanks for watching and being a fan. First comment, I scrolled in because I was like, I'm sure these comments are going to be entertaining. First comment from my friend Jesse Kelly, who has a radio show every night on the Premier Network. After seeing Ohio State second, I agree with Ronnie. And so that in and of itself, there you go. Yes, I do actually have Texas A&M as the number one team in all the land. We'll see how they do this weekend against South Carolina. And finally, we're going to do a quick show today because I've got Kelly Stewart coming up for the Fade, which will be up a little bit later today. Keith Olbermann, I saw Bobby Barack wrote a story, and Keith Olbermann was fired up about it. He was angry that ESPN had on President Trump. And so Keith Olbermann teed off on Bobby Barack and also said that OutKick was a fascist organization. Funny take from Olbermann there, that he would decide to label OutKick as fascist. But I did think that it's interesting that Keith Olbermann, who actually belongs in a straitjacket, and many of the videos that he takes of himself on his apartment deck overlooking Central Park, it somewhat looks as if he is wearing a straitjacket. This is what Trump derangement syndrome will do. It turns Keith Olbermann and Rachel Maddow into the same person. It turns otherwise sane former sports, a great host on SportsCenter into insane, need to be committed, put into a straitjacket lunatics. So all of that will be discussed, I'm sure, in quite a bit of earnest going forward. I again thank you guys for supporting Balls and helping to ensure that it is a bestseller. And you can find this book as well as the audiobook at basically anywhere that you would go to buy books. And a lot of you are listening to the audiobook. We sold a tremendous number of those. And I think that's pretty much it. It's kind of a quiet week so far. I'm excited to be here in the new studio. I think we've got it up and running. Fingers crossed that we will have no debilitating outcome going forward. And I will see you guys back, same bat time, same bat channel on Monday. By the way, I'm going on a super secret trip. I can't tell you right now where I am going, but I will do a Monday OutKick show, and then I'm going to be out of the country on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But if all goes according to plan, on Wednesday, you will likely see a story that you would not have anticipated involving yours truly. So I can't tell you what it is, can't even tell you where I'm going, But I can tell you that at some point we're going to get this thing to actually stand up. But that I have got a super secret trip that I am taking. No idea where I'm going to show up. But there, if all goes well, on Wednesday, you will find out for yourself. There's constantly, by the way, doors being opened up here. There's still a lot of work being done on the new house. I love all of you. DBAP unless you need to SBAP. I am Clay Travis, and Kelly Stewart and I will do the fade right now, and it'll be distributed a little bit later as well. But this has been OutKick, the show.